Hello everyone and welcome to this video, which is in our Great Engine Attack series. And it won't surprise you to hear that the white player is Stockfish, black is Stoofvlees, and this is from the TCEC Season 23 Division P. So this position was reached after 15 moves of an Open Sicilian. And well, when you hear the words Stockfish and Open Sicilian, you know pretty much that things are going to get conceivably just a little bit brutal. I think probably one of the biggest things that's changed about my understanding of Sicilian positions, Open Sicilian positions, is that now, having seen so many of Stockfish's games, I sort of feel that if white gets a pawn to g5, chases away a knight from f6, then white's already clearly better. And well, this game sort of reinforces that. Stockfish started with a very typical move to get the attack rolling, and that's g5 to g6. So the nasty point of this move is that white can play the move g takes f7. That opens the g file. It also weakens the e6 pawn as well. So I mean, black has to decide what to do. A typical way of reacting is to try and close both files of on the king side, the g and the h file, with taking on g6 and going h6. But of course, in this position, we've got the massive bishop takes h6, which wins on the spot. H takes g6, not particularly pleasant for black. I mean, we play the rook to g1, attack g6, and we haven't got this move knight e5 to defend the g6 pawn because of f2 to f4. So what Stoofvlees did was simply try and ignore it, actually, which is by far the best line, and then knight to c5. So the knight's attacking the pawn on e4. And, well, you know, the idea is once the knight takes, we take with the bishop, and we're getting a little bit of counterplay along the c file. At least maybe something to distract white with. And, of course, you know, when a bishop lands on e4, it's also helping to cover some of these squares. I mean, it really was not obvious to me how white was going to continue. Actually, you know, it feels like there's a lot of tempting possibilities. For example, taking on h7 and then trying to line up on the g7 pawn. But what Stockfish did was amazing. And I mean, actually, you know, the key point is all the tactics that happen in the game. Stockfish saw, and you know, it's not even the TCEC machine. You know, that's really powerful, calculates an awful lot in an awful short amount of time. But actually, even on my machine, my laptop here, then you know, it's within the blink of an eye. You know, Stockfish is already displaying plus 5 or 6. So yeah, I mean, really incredible. It's just the software, not the hardware. So h6 was played by Stockfish, giving black a little bit of a dilemma. Well, a dilemma. There's only one way really you can take the pawn. F takes g6, h takes g7. And now black cannot take on g7 because we've got the simple bishop takes c5. Takes and queen h6 check, and yeah, black's not going to last long. So Stoofvlees played the best move, which is rook f7, and that's just yeah, you're able to take the pawn on g7 with the rook and defend the h7 pawn. But now it gets absolutely stunning because this was, you know, anything but obvious what Stockfish does. The first move is bishop d4, and that protects the g7 pawn and also frees the queen to come into h6. And well, we can do it in two ways. We can go queen h6 first, or we could even play a move like rook takes h7, rook h1, and then rook h8 check after. So big problems on the h file. But black seems to have a defense. It's this move e5. And the point of that is that if we go queen h6, we can play rook takes g7, defend the h7 pawn, and well, the immediate danger has passed. But Stockfish had something planned, and the funny thing is that the amazing Mr. Beads was following this game on his home Leela machine, very powerful Leela machine, and Leela was actually still displaying, you know, a pretty relaxed assessment of this position for black. So really felt that black still had everything under control, whereas Stockfish was already at +6. So yeah, who held the truth? Well, and yeah, why was someone getting it wrong, basically? Well, we're going to find out. Rook takes h7. Now Stockfish played the best move, rook takes g7, but after takes, king takes rook h1, threatening queen h6 check, g5, bishop e3, threatening bishop takes g5, then black was in a huge amount of trouble, and well, Stockfish finished this off very, very nicely indeed. But the key thing is, of course, after rook takes h7, why can't you take with the king, which was Leela's favourite move? Well, we go rook h1 check, and now black can't take the pawn on g7 here, because we've got, actually it's not obvious this. I do have to say it would take you a couple of seconds to work out with white how you're winning this. Certainly as a human player you'd expect you would be winning this, but how in actual fact? Rook g1 is the really subtle move, and we're attacking this pawn on g6. You can never escape. I've always got bishop g4 check. That's very important. And if you go rook g7, the key idea here, very important, is this move queen f4 check, exploiting the pin on the pawn, and after king e6 we've got bishop g4 mate. Really nice, huh? So black has to play king g8. And well, if we go queen h6, we've still got rook g7, and the king gets an escape square here. So we go all in with rook h8 check, king g7, queen h6 check, king f6. But yeah, how are we going to finish this off? We've definitely got a draw with queen f4 check, king g7, queen h6 check, king f6, but can we do any more? Well, Leela thought that this was actually the best that white had was a draw here, a draw by repetition. Well, it's not stupid. It's not stupid at all. But in actual fact, that is incorrect. Stockfish says bishop h5. The idea is simply queen takes g6, checkmate. But black plays the amazing move e takes d4. And the idea is queen g6, king e5. And black's king has an extra escape square. It's very hard to get at the black king, and the key point is that after queen takes f7, we've got this move bishop g5 check, discovered attack, and we're going to swap off the queens, and then win the rook on h8 afterwards. So queen takes g6, king e5. Black's actually doing completely fine there. Another interesting move, this was suggested on my Twitter feed, because I share this position just because it was just so amazing, would be to play f4, which looks very good again, you know, really restricting the black king, and you're getting ready to play queen takes g6. Again, if you play king e6 as black, we've got bishop g4 check. But actually black's got the amazing idea rook g7, very clever. I mean, there's a huge number of forced checks here, and you sort of feel, surely I must be winning this. But black with two extra pieces has got plenty of stuff to put in the way, and also, of course, black's also threatening to take the knight on c3. So this was the main line. We just block on e6, take on c3, come back, play bishop e8. And there's no way that white's breaking through. White's actually run out of pieces. We're threatening c takes b2 check and queen c2, and otherwise we're just going to go something like queen d7 and king c7 and well, run away to a good life with two extra pieces. Actually, international master Andras Toth suggested it and found the correct move. But it's an absolutely amazing one. You can pause the video if you don't want to know the answer. The answer here is the incredible move rook h7. What is rook h7 doing? Well, rook h7 is actually covering the g7 escape square. So it means now that white's threatening queen f4 check, king e6, bishop g4. That's the first idea. The second thing is that we're actually trying to get rid of this rook on f7. So if you take on h7, I'm just going to go check, and then you're not covering the f file anymore. So I've just got queen f5 checkmate. You know, that is the absolute beauty of it. And then, well, what other moves does black have? Obviously, you know, a move like rook g8 defending g6. I've got queen f4, completely winning. If you go, let's have a look. What other moves do we have? Yeah, I think rook cf8 is one idea. Queen g6, king e5. So, you know, what you're really hoping for there is to, well, White was trying to get rid of your defense of the F file. We're trying to reinforce it, but we've got this lovely move: Queen G3, Rook F4, Queen G3, Queen G7 check, and well, the best that that Black has got here is to go Bishop F6, Queen takes C7. And well, we're going to end up winning this as White. You know, Black's got a few little tricks because you know, the dark squares around the White king, but stuff like Queen D5 check is really dangerous for Black, of course. And the main line, the really gorgeous one, is that Black can actually play the move Bishop takes E4. Mentioned this one before, and it's coming back and covering the G6 square. And this is quite complicated to work out. I mean, it's really not easy for White to calculate this. And I mean, I think the key problem there is that at some point, you know, if you play a move like Rook H7, you've no longer got a perpetual check in reserve, and that makes it really, you know, really very difficult to you know, to well, to take the plunge and do this. But we've got this move Queen F4 check, Bishop F5, and then maybe pause the video here if you want to guess the next move, because it's a brilliant one. It's the move Bishop takes G6. What's the point here? Well, after King takes G6, we've got Queen H6 checkmate. That's the big idea. And of course, well, we're threatening either Rook takes F7 or Queen takes F5, or even yeah, I don't know, moves like Knight D5 start coming in as well. So after Bishop G6, Knight D3 check, C takes D3, Rook H7 was the main line that Stockfish gave, and then we've got a lovely little a brilliant mating finale here. So King H6 check, going all around the houses. And then a very difficult move again. I mean, you can keep on checking. You've got perpetual. I mean, that's no problem. But finding the mate is quite tricky. And the engine suggests Bishop F5, which is a really nice move, I have to say. And after D takes C3, we go Queen G6, King there, Queen check, King there, D4, King there, and then the somewhat surprising Queen E4 check, King C4, Bishop E6 check, D5, and Bishop takes D5 check, and the Black king is mated. I mean, that is quite amazing, I have to say. I'm really, you know, just in awe of it all, really. I mean, it's a beautiful model game. If you're a White Sicilian player, you know, really store this one in your memory, because yeah, I don't think you'll ever get to see a better example of how to do a kingside pawn storm and to combine that with your major piece pressure on the G and the H files. And you know, this move G6, then this follow-up H6, and then, you know, this glorious sack on H7 with the amazing point King H7, Rook H1 check, King G8, Rook check, Queen H6, King F6, Bishop H5, and then Rook H7. You know, that's quite incredible. And of course, Rook H7 was the move that Leela had missed. So Leela, you know, was assuming that this position that the best White had was a draw by a perpetual with Queen F4 check, Queen H6. And this quiet move Rook H7 was missed. I mean, to be honest, I mean, I can really imagine it, right? I mean, it's your White is a rook and a piece down, and what do? You move, you play a quiet move, no checks, you move a rook back from an attacking position and just offer an exchange of rooks. One of your attacking pieces, you're just offering an exchange of it. You know, it's incredible, really, that you know, that Black with all those pieces, you know, just isn't able to find anything at all. But yeah, I mean, it's just absolute huge brilliance there from Stockfish. Hope you enjoyed that. If you liked it, why not give a like, subscribe to the channel, take a look at my new book, The Silicon Road to Chess Improvement, or even have a look on chessable.com, because it's also a video course as well. Loads of videos like this, just explaining the real basis of what engine play is and what we can learn from engines. I think it's a really nice course, so do take a look at that. But otherwise, thanks very much for watching, and see you at the next video.